Hey, did you guys ever wonder what would happen if Yondu and his people accidentally picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill? Did you guys ever sit there and wonder, like, what would happen if T'Challa was actually Star-Lord? Man, the thought of that kept me up at night. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms. As always, if you find me for the very first time, please be sure to click that thumbs up and subscribe button. That way you guys will stay up to date on all future content here on the channel. If you want more exclusive content, be sure to hit the join button, pick a tier that best suits you, help support the channel, and become part of Storm Nation. So episode 2 of What If just hit Disney Plus, and this time we're talking about what if T'Challa was actually Star-Lord. Now this does kind of hit home. Black Panther is a movie that means a lot to me, especially here on the channel. And to see that Chadwick Boseman came back and he voiced T'Challa in this episode, it does hit a little deep with him passing away, knowing that he was sick when he went ahead and filmed and voice acted in this episode. So a lot of that kind of hit really deep. But overall, the episode and what my thoughts on this episode was, to be honest with you, what if isn't something that I'm into. I'm not into these Elseworld what if scenarios. But in terms of this standalone episode, I did much prefer this episode than I did the first episode. Because yes, it basically has the Guardians of the Galaxy setting, but instead of Peter Quill, we have T'Challa. However, it doesn't play out exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy 1, where you look at something like the first episode of What If, it kind of really plays out almost beat for beat like Captain America First Avenger, except for they substitute Peggy Carter as Cap, and a couple things change. In this scenario, a lot of things is different. Things like Drax and his family, Thanos is in here, the Collector, Nebula, a lot of things kind of really changed. The core elements are still there from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but it's like they took Black Panther, merged it a little bit with Guardians of the Galaxy, and you kind of see the influence that T'Challa has on this universe compared to what something like Peter Quill had when Peter Quill was kidnapped by Yondu and his crew. And you just kind of see how these different characters play out, what their lives would have been. It was very much like a Robin Hood scenario where T'Challa is kind of like stealing from the rich, giving to the poor. The Collector plays a massive role in this, a much bigger role than he did in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Thanos is a different character, but he still has sort of the same motives. But some of the best things I liked about this episode was getting these characters that we know, characters like Nebula, and seeing how things play out. I keep mentioning Nebula because I really liked what they did with her in this episode, as well as T'Challa and Thanos and the Collector. The Collector is a character that I really do not care about, but they made him more interesting. He had more of a reason to be here in this episode, and this entire thing kind of plays out like you can see the influence that T'Challa and the way he was raised was brought up compared to someone like Peter Quill, who lost his mother, then he ran away, got picked up by Yondu and his crew, and he basically became like this scumbag rebel type character in space, and T'Challa has a more positive influence on everything. And speaking of Peter Quill, without giving too much away, there is a scene where the episode ends on, and you kind of see where the ramifications of what going on in this certain multiverse scenario is happening, like what happened to Peter Quill, and you kind of see where that plays out. And it also plays out if you've seen the events of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because you've seen what Yondu's real purpose was doing when he was working with a certain individual. So what would happen if he picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill? What happens then to Peter Quill? And we kind of see how that happens. And overall, it's just a good experience. I wasn't bored watching this episode. That's something I couldn't say for the first episode. And hopefully as these episodes start to pick up and move forward, we're gonna get more stories that is more entertaining, more kind of like going crazy on like what if this happened, what if this happened, and hopefully it would give us some more unique stories instead of a regular paint by numbers retelling and just moving around a couple things from previous movies. So yes, this is sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy meets Black Panther, but I think it's more than that. And again, to see Chadwick Boseman come back to voice T'Challa once again, knowing that he was currently sick, that he was fighting cancer while he was recording recording in the booth. That means a lot because he really cared about this character and he fought through all that to still deliver a great performance. So overall, episode 2, what if T'Challa was Star-Lord? It's amazing how a different character can bring a different perspective to things, how people treat Star-Lord compared to if Peter Quill was Star-Lord. All that stuff is really, really great. Really interesting watch. Not the greatest episode, so I'm not going to blow it out going, "Oh, this is amazing." No, but it's a great, solid episode. Definitely a step up from the first episode. But I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Once again, hit that like and subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. That way you guys can stay up to date on all future content here on the channel. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.